Welcome everyone to day 2 of Black Hat 2017. Not as crowded today on the show floor. Some people are a little hungover, perhaps myself included. I'm here with Adam Kujawa, who hopefully is not hungover.
I'm not, but
okay. Did you have fun last night?
I'll be sober for most of us.
Yeah. So you're the director of malware intelligence?
Yes, I am.
For Malwarebytes.
For Malwarebytes, yeah.
So I've got some questions about the future of security. I want to talk about the future of malware with you, Adam. So what are some of the major changes you hope to see in detection technologies for endpoints and malware?
Really the only way to go moving forward is behavioral. Using machine learning, using AI if we can, any sort of method.
You hit all 3 buzzwords like first thing in the morning.
I've been doing this for days. No, but seriously.
Behavior is kind of an interesting one to start with, right? Because I think some products will take the approach of, well, if malware writes this file and adds this registry entry, I'm going to look for that behavior, but it's really just a glorified signature. I know you guys aren't doing that, but I think quantify what behavior means.
Well, yeah, what we do, we have an anti-ransomware product. It's a technology included in our main product. And what it does is basically monitor all the processes, all threads, looks for any sort of operations that may be indicative of ransomware, kind of creates a profile and a score for those particular operations, those API calls. And if it hits a certain level, we say that's ransomware.
Okay, so it's a score-based system.
Yeah, and I mean...
And now, are you doing that analysis in the cloud or on the endpoint?
We do it on the endpoint.
Okay. And is that like a machine learning algorithm that generates the score? Is that what you're getting up for?
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, that's really the future. It has to be. I don't think we should completely abandon signatures.
Right.
You got to have a human element, because at the end of the day, we're not fighting against robots. We're fighting against bad guys that are actual humans who can pivot and be dynamic just like we can.
Right. So what are some of the challenges that we'll face specific to fighting malware in the future?
Well, it's going to get worse. I almost guarantee that.
Users are going to click stuff.
They're going to click stuff. Well, that's the thing. Users are the biggest vulnerability and the best security for any endpoint. And the bad guys are going after. You could just look at the last 5 years and see the advanced sophistication of things like phishing and mouse spam, the use of ransomware, which in my opinion is kind of a social engineering attack, because the files that get encrypted, they mean something to the users. They mean something, they're not, the bad guys can't just take them and go sell them on the black market, so they have to get paid for that. So it's much more against the user.
Are you seeing an increase on ransomware on devices like phones or any kind of other IoT devices?
Oh yeah. We've seen a big increase in mobile ransomware. We see Mac ransomware all over the place these days.
Yeah.
It's still not as bad as PC ransomware, and that's never going to stop, unfortunately.
Right.
But yeah, it's getting all over the place. It's a defective method of attack.
So how will the threats evolve, in your opinion, over time, specifically for the infection mechanisms that are used by malware?
Well, after we saw things like WannaCry and NotPetya using those SMB exploits that were released by the shadow brokers, they've got more up their sleeve. We're likely to see more stuff like that, where malware actually deploys the exploit technology to infect things. I think it's a whole new era for malware, and we're going to see a lot of scary stuff.
Excuse me. So how do we protect ourselves in the future, specifically with all the different kinds of technology that we use? Our cell phones, tablets, whatever the next thing is. Amazon's Echo Show, right, is an example of the next generation of technology that we'll interact with. How do we protect those devices?
Well, I mean, for things like that, it comes down to configuration. It comes down to making sure you use them correctly, using common security practices. Don't attach to any sort of Wi-Fi. Don't join any sort of network that you can't trust. Airport networks, things like that. I mean, that's a first line of defense. That's something a user can do. Other than that, there's lots of security applications being developed to help out protect those kinds of devices. So deployment of those is also a good idea.
Awesome. Adam, thank you so much.
No problem, Paul. Thanks for having me.